Hi friends, Geraldine B here. In today's video, I'm going to share with you 7 minimalism mistakes that I've learned so far in my 2 years of being a minimalist. Number 1 is not to overshare or over-explain yourself to others, like your friends. When I first started being a minimalist, I love this concept so much that I tried to share this to everyone. And although my friends didn't tell me to shut up during that time, I realized that I could be nuisance. And so minimalism is a great concept, worth sharing, but you can't just throw it to everyone. And that's one of the reasons that I created this channel, so that I can freely share my ideas, what I'm passionate about, and when people are interested of hearing this, then they can just tune in. Sometimes we have the temptations of over-explaining ourselves, especially if we think that we are weird compared to those around us, but we actually don't need others to validate our feelings or validate our behaviors, as long as we know deep within that we're doing this for our own good and for our family. Number 2 mistakes is to expect other people to do the same. And it's really important to be reminded that we have to respect other people's values and preference. And it doesn't mean that because we are doing this minimalism thing that we will impose these ideas to them, especially those who are living with you. Like my husband, I really don't have that problem because he is a natural minimalist. With my kids, as young as they are, I try to show them the benefits of minimalism, but I'm not really imposing it to them. And by doing this, I am respecting their values and preference. With my 8-year-old, when she asked to have another third pair of summer shoes, then I would tell her that you have 2 shoes that is very good for now, and then we have to wait for next year to have one for you. And then she's reminded, oh yeah, this is being minimalist, and this will save us money, and this will save us from lots of clutter. And I am so happy to hear it from her that she was able to resonate the benefits of being a minimalist as a family. And number 3 is living too much minimalism rules. And for me, minimalism should be an enjoyable and freeing process rather than being exhausted of following rigid rules. And some minimalism would suggest to get rid of one stuff before you can buy another one. And for me, it's just daunting. It's stressing me to think about that every time I buy something. So now I only live with 2 rules. Number 1 is getting rid of the stuff that we don't use as a family or we don't find value in our house. And number 2 is mindful purchase. Like whenever I buy something, either online or at store, I would ask myself, do I really need this? Do I have similar things in my house that keeps me from buying this one? Or do my children really need this? And if the answer is no, then I would just stay away from that. Well, number 4 is finding joy of being a minimalist. Well, minimalism is not a person that you can build relationship and be happy with it. It's a concept. So I heard a lot of people who are exhausted and said, minimalism is not for me. I didn't find the joy that I was expecting. I already get rid of 80% of my stuff, but I still feel empty. Well, I personally find joy in the process of getting extra stuff from our house, but I didn't wait for me to fully get rid of almost everything before I can tell to myself that I am happy. Happiness found in relationship, finding our purpose, and it could vary from one person to another, but definitely don't make minimalism as your goal to happiness. Number 5 is taking minimalism too seriously, and sometimes it puts people inside a box that prevent them from doing things. Because if I buy, let's say, 3 pairs of jeans, then that will nullify my status as a minimalist. Well, minimalism is just part of who you are. It's not really who you are 100%. You can still exist as a happy mother, a happy wife, or a happy person, and it's okay to splurge from time to time, especially if you think that you really need that to make you feel good about yourself. Number 6 is to put deadline on yourself and compete with other minimalists. This is very exhausting for me to think about. And minimalism doesn't have a deadline for me. Every day I find single thing to get rid in my house, and I don't tell myself that by next year I should have gotten rid of their toys. It doesn't work that way. I have to ask my kids what they think about the remaining toys that they have, and every day there's just simple one or two things that I think that we don't need. And so for me, minimalism is like a marathon. It's a long journey, but thinking that I have to do this because other minimalists are doing this as well, I don't think that's really healthy for me. So number 7 is minimalism is not about perfection, it's about progress. So when I first started minimalism, my husband would remind me that, hey, aren't you a minimalist? Why are you buying lots of stuff? And I feel bad. I used to think that minimalism is not for me because it's hard to perfect this concept. And then I was reminded to appreciate my progress instead. That when I look back, I'm not used to be that spender. I'm not used to buy a lot of things without thinking about it. And gradually, by the grace of God, I was able to be mindful of my purchase. So for me, that's progress. And so I was encouraged with that idea that it's not about being perfect, it's about me growing. And that's it for today. I hope that you have learned something, and don't forget to be grateful of the things that we already do have while we keep on working towards our goal. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate your time. Bye.